Hello children, welcome to our YouTube classes. Today we are looking at chapter 10 in history, which is first phase of Indian national movement. In this chapter we will learn about the early nationalists and about the leaders who contributed for the nationalism. Now, in between 1885 and 1905, there were a group of political leaders in India. Their emergence marked the beginning of the organized national movement in India. So, what is the meaning of the early nationalist? So, when it started, it happened in between 1885 and 1905. There were a group of political leaders in India. Their emergence marked the beginning of the organized national movement in India. Now, who are the leaders? Some of the important moderate leaders were Dadabhai Naoroji. See the picture? Dadabhai Naoroji, Surendranath Banerjee, Firoz Shah Mehta, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Madan Mohan Malviya. So these were the members of moderate. These were the leaders. Next, the members of this group were drawn from the educated middle class. Professionals like lawyers, barristers, teachers and officials also. They were mostly educated abroad. Now, they believed, who are they? Who are they? Who are they? They believe in these leaders believe in liberalism, moderate policies, peaceful means of agitation. So they were also known as moderates. So these were the leaders who contributed for the early nationalists. So who are they? Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Madan Mohan Malviya and Firoz Shah Mehta. Next one, they were also known as early nationalists as they believed in demanding reforms while adopting constitutional and peaceful means to achieve their aims. So, here we will learn what were the aims. What were the aims? What were the aims? See, to educate people in modern politics. Number one, to educate the people in modern politics. Number two, to arouse national and political consciousness. Number three, to create a united public opinion on political questions. So these were the aims of the moderate leaders. Is it clear, children? Next one, we will learn the objectives of early nationalists. So, number one, what are the objectives? Number one, constitutional demands. Number one, constitutional demands. The moderates wanted a large share in the government of their country. The moderates wanted a large share in the government of their country. They believed that eventually India should go more towards democratic self-government. Moderates demanded the expansion of the Legislative Council and legislative assemblies, both at the center in the provinces. Yes, children. In other words, what we can say, so these were the following demands of the constitutional reforms. These were the demands of the early nationalists. Number one, what were they? Abolition of India Council. Number two, expansion of the Legislative Council and Legislative Assemblies both at the center and in the provinces. Next one, adequate representation of Indians in the Executive Council of the Viceroy and those of the governors. So, this was the first objective of early nationalists. Number one, we have learned constitutional demands, and what were the demands also we have learned. So next one, we will go to the next objective, that is economic demand. What is economic demand? The moderates also wanted a reduction in land revenue and protection of peasants against unjust demands of the zamindars. They were also demanded for the development of banking and industrial growth by the protection of trade. So these were the economic demands. This is the second objective. In what else we can say related to economic demands or economic reforms? What were the demands? Reduction in the land revenue. Number two, reduction in the expenditure on the army and the money. Third one, an inquiry into India's growing poverty and famines. Next one, availability of cheap credit to peasants through agricultural banks. Many more. Next one, third objective, that is administrative demand. They demanded for the complete separation of the executive and the judiciary, vital development of Indians in higher ranks, and also wanted to gradually move towards democratic self-government of India. The moderates also demanded for the Indianization services through simultaneous Indian civil services examination in England and India. They wanted to repeal the Arms Act and License Act, and also wanted to spread primary education among the maximum population of India. So this was the third objective. Is it clear, children? In detail, what we can say, what were the demands in points? We can write. Number one, complete separation of the executive and the judiciary. Next, increase in the powers of the local bodies and reduction of official control over them. Now next point, repeal of the Arms Act and the License Act. Next one, spread of primary education among the masses, and many more. So we have learned the three objectives of the early nationalist. Now next we will learn the methods of the early nationalists. First we will learn the methods of struggle and achievements of the early nationalists. So early nationalists arouse the feeling of one nation, and they train people in politics by popularizing the ideas of democracy, civil liberties, secularism and nationalism, etc. Next one, relying on constitutional and peaceful methods and avoiding violence and confrontation. The early nationalists made good use of the three P's. What were the three P's? Petitions, prayers, and protest to accomplish their objectives. So, these were the methods of the early nationalists. Next one, now achievements. So, we will learn two achievements. What was the first one? So these are all related to the methods. These are related to the achievements. Next one, we will go to the contributions of Dadabhai Naoroji. Contribution of Dadabhai Naoroji. Now we all know about Dadabhai Naoroji. So see the picture, we have seen it before also. Who was Dadabhai Naoroji? He was looked upon. He was looked upon as India's unofficial ambassador during his stay in England. Okay, children. So, who was Dadabhai Naoroji? He was looked upon as India's unofficial ambassador. Okay, children. Now, what are the contributions? First, India's unofficial ambassador. Number 2, role in the Congress. Number 3, expose the economic ills of India. These were the contributions of Dadabhai Naoroji and many more. So we will learn 3 and now we will learn in detail. We will learn in detail. Okay. So we all know Dadabhai Naoroji was Grand Old Man of India, founded the Land on Indian Society in collaboration with W.C. Banerjee to publicize grievances of Indians. He was in favor of appointing educated Indians to high posts. Okay, children. Number 2 point. Due to his efforts, the House of the Commons passed a resolution in favor of holding the ICS examination in England and India. Okay, children. Now, what is that? It is Indian Civil Service Examination. Yes, children, he was in favor of holding the ICS examination in England and India. Simultaneously, the credit for demanding Swaraj from the Congress platform for the first term goes to him. Now, he took great part in the foundation of the Indians, that Indian National Congress, as an economic thinker. He exposed the economic ills of India. Again, very important point to be noted down. He was the first Indian to become member of British House of Commons. This is totally related to Dadabhai Naoroji and his contributions. Next one, we will go to the contributions of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, 1866 to 1915. So what were the contributions? Number 1, persuaded the British for reforms. Persuaded the British for reforms. Next one, servants of India Society. Servants of India Society. Third one, role as a member of Imperial Legislative Council. Role as a member of the Imperial Legislative Council. Now, we will learn this in detail. About Gopal Krishna Gokhale. He was political mentor. He wanted the changes in the fiscal policy against huge expenditure on army, racism for high post, production tax on cotton, important role in passing of Minto-Morley reforms. So these are the reforms, these are the contributions which is related to Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Okay. Now children, third contribution we will learn of Surendranath Banerjee. So what are the contributions of Surendranath Banerjee? Number one, established the Indian Association. Next one, created an all India political organization. And number three, political ideas. These were the contributions of Surendranath Banerjee. Now we will learn in detail. Who was Surendranath Banerjee? He was a nationalist leader, popular journalist and dedicated educationist. Now, he opposed what were the contributions? He opposed the division of Bengal, opposed Arms Act and Vernacular Dress Act. Okay. Number two, he created an all India political organization which later merged with the INC. He edited a newspaper, Bengali, which served as a popular medium for mobilizing public opinion. Okay children. Next one, number 3 point. He established the Indian Association to fight against the wrong policies of the British. So these were the contributions of Surendranath Banerjee. So we have learned the contributions of this Indian nationalists. So hope all you have your doubts are clear, and please go through the chapter and try to solve the exercises from page number